What's up, my perspective-seeking warriors? Yeah, it's something new every day. Ever feel lost in the details of life? Today's Stoic wisdom invites us to step back and see the bigger picture, to take what Marcus Aurelius called Plato's view of our existence. For June 2nd, Marcus Aurelius reminds us how beautifully Plato put it. Whenever you want to talk about people, it's best to take a bird's eye view and see everything all at once of gatherings, armies, farms, weddings, divorces, births, deaths, noisy courtrooms, or even silent spaces, all blended together, arranged in a pairing of opposites. The Stoics knew that perspective transforms how we see challenges and our place in the world. No one embodied this perspective better than astronomer Carl Sagan. When the Voyager 1 spacecraft was about to leave our solar system in 1990, Sagan convinced NASA to turn its camera back towards Earth to take one final photo. The result was a famous pale blue dot image. Earth appearing as a tiny speck in the vastness of space. Reflecting on this image, Sagan delivered one of the most profound perspective shifts in modern thought. Look at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it. Everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who has ever lived out their lives on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. This cosmic perspective wasn't meant to diminish human experience, but to properly contextualize it. Sagan used his broader view to advocate for environmental protection, peace, and scientific inquiry. He understood that seeing the big picture doesn't make our individual lives less meaningful. It helps us focus on what truly matters and let go of petty concerns, like invading your neighbor. So here's your challenge today. Think about a problem or a situation that's been troubling you. Now try to view it from three progressively wider perspectives. First, how it might look 5 years from now. Second, how someone from a completely different background might see it. And third, how it appears in the context of our entire planet and human history. Notice how your feelings about the situation shift as your perspective expands. That is something I do all the time. I love playing devil's advocate and putting myself in other people's shoes. So that one is something I can say that definitely works. Sometimes things don't outrage me as much as it should, because I was like, dang, that's crazy that happened to me. But if I was that person's shoe, I would have done the same thing. You know what I mean? I would have done the same thing. Sometimes it helps get rid of even emotions between two warring countries, because it's like, of course we think this way because we live here, but if we lived there, what would we do? For example, I'm not going to name any specific countries. I got 2 minutes to spare. As an American, I do not want other countries to have nuclear weapons. I just don't. I don't have to explain why. But if I lived in a country that doesn't have nuclear weapons and I'm being constantly threatened by the United States and or other powers that have bigger armies than me, then guess what? I'm going to want a nuclear weapon. That just makes sense because it's a deterrent. The Americans have one. Why shouldn't I have one? You know? So it all depends on your perspective and whose shoes you're in. And now, knowing that perspective doesn't have to make my perspective change, but I can at least be more compassionate. And I understand that the reason why this person wants nuclear weapons is we keep being aggressive. So maybe I don't have enough power to change these kinds of things. So maybe if we stop posturing our military so much, maybe if we stop being aggressive, maybe if we didn't surround them, maybe they wouldn't feel like they have a nuke. And my biggest thing is I don't want them to have a nuke. So if I remove those other things from the board, we all win, potentially. I'm not telling you that these are great plans, just giving you an example of how, because of my perspective change, I can also come up with solutions because I understand what the other person is going through. And when all solution fails, aka diplomacy, well, then you fight them before they acquire a nuclear weapon. And that's the end of this video. I'm kind of joking. We'll see who can handle it and who cannot. A little bit of personality leaking through the videos. Until the next video, subscribe if you haven't.